Hi everybody, welcome back to Critical Mass. Yep, it's time for another car review. And guess what? This time there was actually a new movie in the theaters. First time in 4 months we got to see a new movie. But do we actually wish we did see it? That's the question. All right, we just saw Christopher Nolan's Tenet.
Mm-hmm. No, stop saying it wrong. It's Tenet.
Tenet.
Fine.
Everybody says Tenant.
Because that's what it sounds like it should say.
Remember, it's the same forward as backwards.
Yes. And it's a good thing you mentioned that because we saw the movie twice.
Yes, we did.
All right. First off, it's sort of along the lines of Inception as far as the freakiness of the visuals and everything is concerned. If you were to try and describe the plot, how would you describe the plot?
Oh.
Without giving it away too much. Trying to do no non-spoiler as much as we can.
So the plot I would describe as new Batman and old Alfred get together in a movie, and honestly, by the end of the movie, you're still not quite sure what you just saw. I mean, I know that they're looking for artifacts, radioactive artifacts that can be assembled into an algorithm to do what? Is that what?
Thanks for joining us, Mark.
Yeah. All right, Paul, you make it crystal clear.
You do it.
Go ahead.
Okay. It appears that there's somebody in the future who has a machine that can allow them to traverse time backwards, forwards, and we find out and we have to go and stop it because it could end the world. Boom.
There's more to it.
But they have to see the movie for that.
Yes. But let's break it down a little bit in there. Was it hard to follow?
Yeah, well, so I appreciate that they spent the time that they did to make the movie. But yeah, it was extremely hard to follow. A lot of the dialogue you really can't understand. They have to wear masks in certain areas, and they have a lot of fast moving action a lot of times. A lot of it just seemed rushed. I'm sure I missed a good third of the dialogue just because I couldn't hear it.
Oh, the dialogue was fast. It wasn't like natural talking. It was fast talking, and they have heavy accents, and they're whispering in really loud places, and they're talking about really important things that might clarify what's happening because everything is muddled to you, but you don't hear it. So you feel like you're missing everything all the way up to the very end, and at the very end, you're saying, well, I kind of have the gist of what happened. Mm-hmm. I'm going to kind of fake that I understood what happened, but I don't know what happened.
Right. So the second half of the movie is basically revisiting the first half of the movie, but on the other side of the timeline. I don't know if that makes any sense. I don't know if you ever watched what was the name? Eureka. Did you ever watch Eureka?
No.
Yeah. Okay. So in the very first episode, there's a car traveling down the highway, and they pass another car coming at them. And then in season like 3 or 4, they are the other car that's coming, and they see themselves going to the town in the first episode. So, and that's sort of what is going on here, is that we see everything from the other side. You see a glimpse of somebody diving, and now you know who it is at the end of the movie.
Yeah, there's lots of links and dialogue in this movie to things that you see happen in the second half of the movie. Because remember, time is reversed. So when somebody talks about, oh, I saw this guy, he was running in the opposite direction, and then an hour later into the movie, that guy will run in the opposite direction. Mm-hmm. but now you know who that guy is.
Yeah.
Like, as soon as there's one scene in there when they're fighting these masked guys. One guy runs and one guy fights. Did anyone not know that's what it was, who it was? Like, as soon as the one guy Batman looked down and then turned around and ran back the other way, we knew right away who it was.
Yeah.
There was no doubt in my mind who it was. But as far as the dialogue is concerned, I found there's a lot of, like, exposition, like, talking about, oh, it's the converter calculus and the blah, blah, and it's in the Ukraine and blah, 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 and then he transports blah, blah, like, over and over and over at the beginning of this movie. Like, the first hour of the movie was literally just, this is what they're doing, this is how they're doing it, and you're talking to 4 or 5 or 6 different people, and they go, could you not have tightened that a little bit?
Yeah, you never quite know who is traveling or who knows about the traveling.
Or how they know about the traveling.
I knew we were in for a rough ride in the first 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know what was going on in the first 10 minutes. I'd say, okay, sooner or later, this is all going to be clear because, you know, there's going to be that twist that, aha, that's what's happening. I didn't get that.
No.
I still don't understand what happened.
No, that was the first thing I said when the movie ended. I said, so what was that movie about?
Yeah.
But I did like the acting of the main actor, and I have no idea who the main actor is.
Nope.
But I liked Robert Pattinson in it. I liked
the other people.
the woman in it. I liked old Alfred.
Okay, so regarding the woman.
And Michael Caine.
Michael Caine, yeah.
Michael Caine shows up.
The woman
for
in it.
5 seconds.
I think that whole section of the movie didn't need to be there.
Yeah, the MacGuffin.
The whole thing about her and her kid. What is she even in the movie for? There wasn't a love interest. All of a sudden, she's a really important dynamic in the movie.
The world is at stake, and everything is for her kid.
And everything is for her and her kid to be together.
Yeah.
And
there's a line in the movie that actually made me laugh in the movie when the guy goes, so what happens if that happens? And he goes, everyone dies. The world ends, everybody dies. And the woman goes, including my son? And I thought, no, your son will be fine. He'll be on the earth by himself, but he'll be fine.
That was literally a line in the movie.
Yeah, that's literally a line in the movie.
I was kind of getting a little bit tired of the whole involving her for absolutely no reason.
Well, see, I think the reason they involved her in this movie was to show that he's not a cold-hearted killer.
Okay, but
he wants everybody to be okay.
I think we understood that.
Except the other people who were going around were willing to assassinate innocent people no matter what to get the job done, and they were showing that he was different. He wanted to make sure and try and protect people along the way as well.
Did anybody feel that this movie was like 45 minutes too long?
Yeah. Well, that's what happens when you record an hour and a half a movie and then you have to record it reversed.
The whole like war game thing at the end was way too long.
Yeah, like I said, oh my God, when is this going to stop?
There was a point in that movie, like at the end, the very big ending, that something happens with Robert Pattinson's character. I won't spoil it for you, but something happens to him. And at no point in the shooting of that last scene did I know that had happened. You know what I mean?
No.
Well, at the end, he goes, I thought you were on the other team. And he goes, halfway I switched.
Hmm?
So he went from going in reverse time to forward time, or back,
right,
or vice versa. But at no point in this movie did it show that that's what he was doing, really, right?
Yeah, I found there was a few things that they just skipped over, and that was probably done in editing. There's probably footage of a lot of the stuff that was missing, but like when she was going back onto the boat, right? She was getting ready to dive into the water and then go to she's still on her little small boat, and then next shot is she's just wet and she's walking on her yacht. They skipped the whole part of her jumping into the water to go to the yacht.
Yeah, well, yeah, but
Well,
you can assume that that's what she did.
Yeah, you can deduce it, but I mean it's part of editing.
Well, put it
right?
this way: you thought the movie was 45 minutes too long. Now, let's throw those scenes in there. Well, anyway, what would you guys give Tenet? Mark, what would you give Tenet out of 10?
I think it was well done, except for, I mean, the things that we mentioned. I think this movie is going to make a whole lot of money. And I think that because people are going to have to watch it 5 or 6 times to be able to understand it. So I'm going to give it a 6.
6. Paul?
6 is right there. That's what I think it is.
Yeah, 6.5. I still enjoyed the movie.
Did you enjoy the movie or did you enjoy going to the movies?
Well, I went to the movie a couple weeks ago, saw another movie. I enjoyed the movie. I enjoyed the action. I thought the acting was solid. And the story was intriguing, even though it was very all over the place. Very mixed up, and you had to pick up on all these little things. And I bet you the second time around watching it, you would notice a lot more as you went along. It's one of those kind of movies.
Is that really the mark of a quality movie?
Well,
that you can't understand it the first time?
I just said 6 to 6.5. I didn't give it a 7. I didn't give it an 8. I said I was okay with the movie. It's not the groundbreaking film that Inception was, that they kept, saying that this one was going to be. But still, was I glad I saw it? Yeah. Like, I'm not disappointed we saw the movie. I don't wish I had my money back. So, yeah.
Yeah, I guess.
But you know what? I still think it's a film you should see in theaters.
Yeah, well, go see it.
I don't think this would translate to the TV as well.
No, don't go see it in this theater. It was way too loud.
Paul is showing his age. Turn the music down, boy.
Get off my lawn.
There you go. 6.5 tops. Not a groundbreaking film, but still worth seeing in theaters, I think. Just because it's a big screen thing. You would miss so much if you're looking at it on a little screen, no matter how big your TV is. So, let us know what you guys think. Are you going to go see Tenet?
No, Tenet.
I love doing that. Maybe check out some more of our content down below, and we're going to go see New Mutants, and then we're going to watch Bill and Ted on streaming, and we'll let you know what those are all about.